My pregnancy with Harry was completely normal. I had no indication at all that there was anything wrong with Harry. And I distinctly remember actually one of the nurses telling me a check that Harry had a really, really strong heartbeat. So I had no indication at all.
My pregnancy was absolutely fine up until 32 weeks, and then the midwife found out I was measuring 38 weeks, so I was quite big, which wasn't normal. So we had some scans and some tests, and they said I had a condition called polyhydramnios.
So Harry was 6 weeks premature, and when he was born, he had a patent duct. They thought he had a patent ductus because they heard this murmur. And when he was 4 days old, they could still hear this murmur. So at 9 days old, he was taken down to Harefield, and that's when we found out he had a heart condition.
Well, they induced me because the fluid was just getting more and more, and then when she was born, she was fine for about an hour or so, wasn't she? Just quite normal. So the midwife seemed happy, and they told me not to feed her just because of the other issue. They had to feed a tube up her nose and do an x-ray, but they said as long as I didn't feed her, she was a nice colour, and she was sort of gurgling away. She wasn't really crying or anything, but that was fine. When we were in Scarborough, the doctor on the Sigabutu, he told us that there was a murmur and she had the esophageal fistula that we talked about. So he referred us to Leeds, and it was the cardiologist there that sort of broke the news to us, explained what was wrong with her.
I can clearly remember being in the echo room with Harry and Harry's dad, Greg. We in that room, and the feelings of just being hot and clammy and just overwhelmed. And you just knew that there was something wrong just by the consultant's reaction. And he told us that Harry at 9 days old needed to be kept in hospital and would need emergency surgery, and it just blew our worlds apart. We just had absolutely no idea that there was anything wrong.
I mean, when she told us, because at first she drew some pictures to show us how a normal heart worked, and then how Minnie's heart was working and what was wrong with it. And obviously it's quite a lot of information to take in, so I did feel a bit overwhelmed.
I think a consultant was quite shocked. I don't think we were told that Harry having an interrupted aortic arch shouldn't have really got to where he did at 9 days old. I think he was quite surprised, and he was quite anxious at having to tell us because nobody expected it. But he was very gentle and very kind and very just empathetic really to what was going on, I think.
The lady that told us was really nice because she wasn't talking as in, she was talking about the future and stuff, because they sent this particular lady to see us because she did clinics in the hospital in Scarborough and Leeds, because she was like, so she said, in the future after, so she was talking about as if it was going to be all right. So I did feel, it's not, there wasn't just like, oh, this is what's wrong with her and she's going to die. It was, she was talking about like the future and stuff. So I thought, maybe it might be, I didn't know what I thought it would be like. I thought just lots of hospital appointments, but it felt nice that we might see her again in the future.
Yeah.
So it felt like she was going to look after us.
So looking back, I don't think that there was anything that I can think that would have made it any easier. I think we just dealt with it. For information, when we told Harry needed surgery, we very much relied on the consultants and the nurses to give us that information and support. I don't think we were aware of any charities at that time, 20 years ago, that could give us any more information, but we got what we needed from the staff at the hospital.